This is a Hot Pie Original. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the DNP-CD Sports Podcast presented by Oddsshark. I am Chad Fisher, alongside my co-host, Tony Farmer. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing awesome today, man. I'm really looking forward to this show. Joe Wieskamp out of Iowa. Dude's dream is about to come true in a couple days. How often do you get to talk to somebody whose dream is about to come true in a few hours? Yeah,
it's crazy, man. It's going to be really exciting to talk to him. He's a guy that shot up draft boards recently, had a great combine, and it's going to be interesting to see where he falls and also get his perspective on where what his mindset is going into the draft here tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a guy who's known as a shooter, but he's got a lot of other skills, and we're real curious how the NBA is going to view him on draft night. It's exciting.
Yeah, definitely, brother. Can't wait to talk to him. Before we do that, let's tell everybody about Oddsshark. Oddsshark is your source for the latest odds from leading authorities, expert editorial content, the hottest sports news, and detailed matchup picks. Looking for statistics and trends for an upcoming game? Oddsshark has that too, and it's right. In-depth expert analysis, odds, and trends to help you make the sharp game day picks. They've got decades of stats in their databases, and their insiders give you takes so hot they sizzle. That's hot. They're your one-stop shop. I got to stop doing it. They're your one-stop shop for all your odds info on sports and pop culture events. Want to get a better understanding of the odds and the math behind the numbers, how the line is set, why the lines move during the week on the NFL odds list? Oddsshark will give you all the tools you need. They're a proven industry powerhouse. Oddsshark has info from around the globe, giving you the chance to access the best sports odds on the planet. Whether you want to check out tonight's football odds, this week's hockey or basketball trends, or anything in between, head on over to Oddsshark and start thinking like a shark today. Check them out, man. You gotta check out Oddsshark before you place a bet. You want to go over there, check the numbers, make sure you're getting the best line. It's vitally important if you're going to be putting some money down on some games.
Yeah, of course, man. They've got great articles too. We were paying attention to Oddsshark before they started sponsoring the show. Yeah. We love them, always have. And you should check them out because, like Chad said, they're absolutely free. They're doing the heavy lifting for you on a lot of the analytics and a lot of the research. So especially before you make those big bets, you're going to want to go over to Oddsshark and make sure their experts are thinking like you are before you put your money down.
Yeah, definitely. So check them out. It's ODDSSHARK.com. Tell them the DNP-CD Sports Podcast sent you. And speaking of Oddsshark, let's do our betting segment, Tony.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the NFC West, Chad.
Yeah, man. So there's some numbers here. I'm going to start with the very top. Arizona is anywhere from plus 450 to plus 600.
To win the NFC West.
NFC West, yeah. And then LA is anywhere from 175 to 205. All
right, let's remember they got Matthew Stafford.
Yeah,
so that one's interesting.
And your 49ers are anywhere from plus 175 to plus 205. Mm-hmm. And Seattle is anywhere from, looks like 260 all the way up to 280.
Okay.
So who you liking there?
I'm liking the Cardinals, dude.
Really?
All right. So first, couple things with this division. This is a division where you could easily see three teams making the playoffs. Would anybody be surprised if three of those four teams made the playoffs, especially how weak some of the other NFC conferences are? Yeah. You could have a couple wild cards out of there. So these teams may beat up on each other, which may make it interesting. So I'm going to go with the dog of these lines, the Cardinals, which I tend to do. If you're watching the show often, you notice that I tend to like the underdogs in these division odds. Cardinals defensive line, I love that they're adding J.J. Watt. I love their wide receivers. I don't love their head coach at all, Cliff Kingsbury, but I'm gonna hope that another year of experience can only help you at the NFL level. And so I like the Cardinals here. Now, if the odds were even, I'm going to rank them 49ers, Rams, Cardinals, Seattle. Okay. With those odds, I heard you say almost 5-1 for the Cardinals, 5.5 to 1.
Mm-hmm. 6 to 1.
6 to 1. Oh, yeah. Which, by the way, is why you want to look at Oddsshark so that you can shop around and find that 6 to 1, find where that is. But I'm going the Cardinals here. What do you think, man?
Yeah, man, I'd probably do the same thing because I feel like that's a good number. If I had to pick, I would say that I think the Rams are going to win the division, but I'm going to be rooting for the 49ers as well because our boy Mohamed Sanu on there. But yeah, I mean, if I'm going to put some money down, I'll put it on the Cardinals.
Yeah, when it comes to the 49ers, it's all going to be about injuries. I heard Steve Mariucci come out recently and say the 49ers might have the most talented roster in the NFL. So we know the talent's there. how many of those guys can stay healthy, because they literally had a historically unhealthy year last year. Literally, I mean, the number of guys who went on IR for that team, the luck was unbelievable. And as a 49er fan watching those games, guys were dropping like flies. It seemed like every 10 minutes, I'm exaggerating a bit, but it seemed like every 10 minutes. And so can those guys, many of whom, by the way, are injury prone, stay healthy for next year? That's what it's going to come down to. And frankly, that might decide the division.
Yeah, definitely, brother. It's going to be an interesting year. The NFC West there's a lot of parity there, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Make sure you head on over to Oddsshark.com to check out the lines on some of these division winners and everything like that. Put some money down. Make sure you go to Oddsshark, though, because you want to make sure you're getting the best number possible. We love them here at DNP-CD.
For sure, man. I think we're ready to talk with Joe Wieskamp. Should we bring him in?
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring Joe in. All right, our guest today started 97 games for the Iowa Hawkeyes, where he was second team All Big Ten last year. He's an all-around great player and stuffed the stat sheet. He was the first Hawkeyes junior to record 1,250-plus points, 550-plus rebounds, 175-plus three-pointers, 100-plus assists, and 75-plus steals in his career. He's ninth all-time in three-pointers made at Iowa, and his second all-time in three-point percentage. Last year at Iowa, he averaged nearly 15 and 7 a game and shot an astonishing 46% from the three, just lighting it up. But he's not just a hooper. He received his degree in finance from Iowa and also made the Dean's List. And we're looking forward to hearing his name called on draft night this Thursday. Please welcome to the DNP-CD Sports Podcast, Joe Wieskamp. How you doing, brother? Wiesy in the house.
No, I'm doing well. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, for sure, brother. Hey, Joe, I feel like we're friends already, man. I'm expecting an invite to your wedding, so I'm going to call you Wiesy. Okay. Wiesy, you're not just a shooter, brother. Out of the 55 players invited to the combine, you finished fourth with a 42-inch vertical and a 10.2 agility lane drill time. I'd venture to say that my vertical is 9, maybe 10 inches. It might be a little, it might be a little higher if there's a Snicker bar on the line. You know what I'm saying? But do you feel like your athleticism is overlooked at all? You're not just a shooter. You're capable of so much more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, like shooting's kind of the main part of my game. Like that's what's going to get me on the court. But also, I feel like I'm a lot more athletic than a lot of people think, and helping rebound and push the ball in transition, different things like that, which I think my game will translate.
Yeah, definitely. You killed it at the combine, brother, and you helped your stock immensely. Was that one of the biggest reasons why you decided to keep your name in the draft? And what were your expectations going into the combine? Were you on the fence about staying in, and you thought, if I kill it at the combine, I'm going to stay in the draft. I'm trying to get paid, maybe buy a couple of used Hyundais or something like that. You know what I'm saying? or what was your thinking going into the combine, though, brother?
Yeah, to be honest with you, my mindset going into the process was that I'm going to stay in. Like, I think that going into this, like, it's tough to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to show like your true self if that's kind of your mindset. So my mindset, like I said, was that I'm all in. And the biggest thing for me was like teams weren't able to come watch us in person this year because of COVID. So they couldn't see me up close and see how well I shoot it, how tall I am, how quick and athletic I am. So to be able to showcase that at the combine and let like the outside world know, and especially just the scouts to be able to see me up close was huge for me. And that's why ultimately after that, which when I got good feedback and things like that, I decided to go all in at that point.
Joe, you're so close to making your childhood dream come true. Can you give us some insight into what the heck that feels like? I mean, all this work that you've put in up until this point, and really we're just hours away at this point from the draft. What's your mindset right now? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling, like to get to this point. Growing up in high school, from a smaller town in Iowa, like there's not too many hoopers around that fully devote themselves to the game. So like I had to, travel all across the country to find good competition and things like that. So, going throughout that in high school and then playing in college, like, it's just crazy to finally be here. I remember my freshman year, I tested the process a little bit, but not, to the full extent. And I remember watching the draft 2 years ago and thinking like, I'm going to hear my name called in a couple of years. So it's cool to finally be to this point.
So let's fast forward a little bit. It's Wednesday night. You put your head on your pillow, whatever time it is that you usually go to sleep. Are you going to be able to sleep Wednesday night?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's going to feel like Christmas Eve. Like, I think I'm going to be thinking about like, oh, what present am I going to open tomorrow? Like, I think there's going to be a lot of nerves, but just like a lot of excitement too, like to finally get to this point. And I know that everyone else going through this draft process, unless, you're probably the number one pick, like everyone has uncertainty on where they're going to end up. So just to try to enjoy it as much as I can and just realize that God has a plan for me and I'll end up where I'm supposed to be.
What kind of a team do you think you'd be a good fit for? And can you kind of talk to that team a little bit? What are you going to bring to the table when you get there?
I think any team, honestly, like in the NBA right now, shooting's at a premium. And that's something that I do at a high level. So I think that I can fit into any team, and I'm probably not going to be the guy that's, making a ton of plays off the dribble at the beginning. Like I'm going to be more of a floor spacer, a guy that's, in the corner, letting guys do their thing. But if they kick it out to me, like I'm going to knock it down. I'm going to make hustle plays, rebound, do all those different things to help the team win. But obviously it starts with my shooting.
Yeah, definitely. I want to know, brother, how have you been training since you declared for the draft? Obviously, it's a completely different animal. You're able to devote all your time to that. But what have you been doing to get your mind and your body ready for the NBA? Obviously, it's a completely different game. You're going against the best players in the world. But what improvements have you seen in your game and your body since you declared and started taking this on more seriously?
Yeah, so obviously this process has been a little bit longer than typical years with the draft being pushed back. So I was able to go out to Las Vegas for about a month and a half, and I trained with a guy named Joe Wieskamp that's been doing this for like 25 years, the pre-draft process, and then went to Chicago and have been training with my agency ever since. So it's just been fun to like be around the pro game, just work with the 3-point line. Obviously, it's a little bit further back, and just study film of guys in the NBA in which I feel that I'm similar to. Guys like Duncan Robinson that are just constantly moving. He's a taller white shooter, but he's constantly moving, coming off screens and dribble handoffs and things like that. So it's been fun to like really focus on the NBA game, and even just like watching the playoffs, like picturing myself out there on the floor. Or just some different things that I've tried to do throughout this process.
Yeah, I'm a Michigan fan, so I've watched your career. Sorry, brother, but I'm glad to see you going, though, man. I will say that, brother. You and Luka both. But I've watched your career a lot, and that's something that was somebody that I thought you had a great comparison to was Duncan Robinson. And I feel like what he's done in the NBA is just going to help you and help your stock and everything as well, because you guys have very similar skill sets.
Yeah, for sure. About the Michigan comment, Isaiah Livers is in my same agency.
Yeah, so I've been priority. Yeah,
a good dude. But yeah, like watching a guy like Duncan Robinson, like being a guy from the Big Ten, that really is like a white shooter. Like that's what I am too. Like at the end of the day, so, to see him have that much success and like teams really value what he's doing on the floor, obviously opens a lot of opportunities for me.
Yeah, definitely. And what are some of the things that you're trying to improve upon going into the draft? What are some of the weaknesses or things that you feel like you can get better at?
Yeah, I think it starts defensively. Mm-hmm. At Iowa, we were always a team that was trying to run and gun. We were trying to outscore you. So defensively, like I think there was too many times where I get on the side of people and get beat. So it's just really just using my athleticism to my advantage more and keeping guys in front and understanding like the film and like the team concepts of being in the right spots. And also just gaining a little bit of strength. Like I think playing in the league, guys are going to be bigger, faster, stronger. Sorry. So just being able to like have more muscle to defend, and also like offensively, like being able to take contact and finish around the rim, I think are some of the emphasis for me.
You mentioned Duncan being that guy that you kind of emulate and look to on tape now. Who did you look up to growing up? Who did you watch? And are any of those guys still in the league right now?
Klay Thompson a lot, actually. Okay. Just being such a good shooter, like being a guy that is a lot of catch and shoot, which is kind of what I was more so in college. Like he wasn't breaking people down off the dribble per se. Like he was scoring off catch and shoot. And I think also like cuts, like he was back cutting, curl cutting, finish around the rim for layups. So I think that's stuff that I can do as well. And obviously like with the Warriors run when they were killing, it was fun to watch him do his thing. Yeah,
definitely. Hey, brother, I'm curious. When you get that first check, what are you buying? You getting a hot tub or some jewelry, or do you have your eyes on some VIP Toby Keith tickets? Like, what are you going to buy when you get that first check, man?
That's a great question. Yeah. It might be a car.
Yeah,
because the car I've been driving in college, my little brother just turned 15, so he's getting my car. So it's time for me to get a new one. So I think that'll probably be the first purchase.
Yeah. Speaking of your brother, Luke, he looks like he's going to be a pretty good hooper too, man. He's definitely going to Iowa, right? I saw he's playing with Fran's son. Is that Fran's son?
Yep.
How's his game looking, man? What's he got to work on?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome to see. So he's going to be a freshman in high school this year. Like, he's finally starting to grow into his body a little bit, has a lot of confidence in his game right now, is one of the better players on his team for AAU. And it's cool just to see his work ethic. Like, he obviously looks up to me and sees what I've been able to do. And just to see him devote that much time to his game and working on getting better has been really awesome to see.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure, man. You can give him some pointers there too. It's awesome. That's an awesome resource for him to have too, having a brother that's going to be in the NBA in a couple days here. Your fiance, Mackenzie Meyer, played at Iowa as well, played for the women's basketball team. I got to ask you, has she ever beat you one-on-one or horse or something like that? And then on top of that, I know you're with Priority Sports and they're great, but can I already throw my name in the hat to be your kid's agent when the time comes? I don't know anything about that, you know what I'm saying? But I can make some money off that for sure, man, I think.
Yeah, no, Mackenzie and I, we had a lot of fun. Obviously, we both played at the same time. So there was a lot of nights when we'd go and shoot together and rebound for each other. And we never really played one-on-one, just kind of like messing around. More so we do like shooting competitions or horse or pig. And there was definitely some times where she would beat me. Like,
nice.
She's a great shooter for sure. There was one time I was doing an interview and we did like a half court shot, see who can make it first. First shot, she banks it in.
Dang.
Like you can't make it up.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun.
That's some cheap. That's some cheap dates too, man. Just go to the gym and shoot around, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Agency-wise, I can't make any promises.
That's awesome. Hey, man, coming out of Iowa, I want to ask you about another Iowa great, George Kittle. You know, he obviously played football at Iowa. His dad did too. I don't know if a lot of people realize that. I want to know if you're going one-on-one against George Kittle. Keep in mind, they say the tight end position is the most transferable to basketball, right? You're going one-on-one against George Kittle in a game of 21. What's the final score going to be? And before you answer that question, two things I want to throw in there. One, he's 6'4", 250 pounds is what he's listed at, right? And two, he's on Twitter a lot, so there's a good chance he's going to hear this answer. So game of 21, you versus George Kittle. What's the result?
Man, that's tough. I have a lot of respect for him. That's obviously what he's been able to do in the NFL. Riley Till is actually one of my former teammates, and his sister is married to George Kittle too. So,
oh wow.
Score-wise, I think it's tough to say. Like, I've never really seen him on the court, but I'm going to guess, like, being like most football guys, like, he probably is just really athletic, probably doesn't have much of a jumper. So I'm going to give him like 5, like 20,
nice.
21.
I think he's being generous because George is an Iowa guy.
Yeah, I think so
if George
too,
came from out of like Alabama or Duke or something.
A couple times he might muscle me down.
Yeah.
All right.
He's going to bully you a couple times. Yeah, right.
Fair enough. Hey, where are you going to be watching the game? Watching the draft night. Who are you going to be around, et cetera?
Yeah, probably just at home with my family. Probably try to keep it fairly small just because obviously there's going to be a lot of uncertainty going into the night. But I think Friday night, the night after I know where I'm going to end up, I'm going to have a bigger party with a bunch of friends and family.
Y'all about to turn up, or are you just going to be doing like white people stuff and having some macaroni salad and hot dogs and stuff? Are y'all setting off fireworks, man? What's going down at Wiesy's?
It'll probably be pretty low key.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I think we're going to have like a local Mexican spot cater.
Oh, what's up?
I know like the owner. So we'll have a nice little spread and things like that, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, so I want to ask you, brother, the last couple of questions, man. We're going to let you go. We know your time is short, but the Big Ten has gotten a reputation for playing some of the best basketball in the country. Why do you think the Big Ten is so good? And what about the style of the Big Ten prepares you for the next level?
Yeah, I think it's just like the Big Ten is really good from top to bottom. Like you see in other leagues sometimes where you have like 3-4 dominant teams and then the teams at the bottom are just, getting destroyed every game. But in the Big Ten, like there's no cakewalk. Every team is really physical, like the Michigan States, the Rutgers, like teams that kind of play like really physical, up into your space, denying. I think is really what's going to prepare me for the next level the most is like going through that physicality. And honestly, like my sophomore year, like I kind of went through some struggles where that physicality kind of bothered me. But like going through that, I think is only going to make me better moving forward.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. It's a tough conference. Like you said, there's no off nights, man. Even Rutgers, had a good team last year. Even when you go to Nebraska, it's a tough place to play. There's no off nights, man. Top to bottom, it's the best league in the country, in my opinion. Obviously, I got a biased opinion. But Joe, before we let you go, I want to point out that you're not just a basketball player. You've done so much. We're going to see kids with cancer in the hospital and trying to brighten their day. That's what it's really all about, right? You're a basketball player, but that's not all you are, brother. You're using your celebrity to bring positivity and happiness to the world. I want to ask you, how does it feel though when you walk into a hospital and a kid lights up when they see you and you just trying to make their day a little bit better?
Yeah, there's honestly no better feeling. Like, I think it's kind of like one of our responsibilities as, a Big Ten player, and the platform that we have put on by society and the media is to use that platform to help others. And like you said, like, that's something that was always really important to me, was to go to the children's hospital and even just like going, saying hi and like signing a couple autographs, like that makes their day. That makes their week. And there was a couple of times where I went and like saw some older ladies and like I guarantee they were telling all their friends about it. Like, it's just so cool to be able to impact others like that. And then also I really like growing up in Muscatine, I shot a lot at the YMCA. So just doing some different things like to give back to them. Iowa hosted a little camp there a couple years ago. And just like there's a couple times where I donated back to them. So just like to help others out and use our platform is really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Joe, you're making it sound like everybody does what you do, and you're like, it's your duty, it's your responsibility as a Big Ten athlete. The reality is not a lot of people take the time to do what you're doing, especially college students who are college athletes who are busy already. So where does this come from? I mean, were you raised that way? I mean, where does this desire to want to help people and brighten people's day come from?
Yeah, I think it was just the way that I was raised. My dad's a physical therapist, so he's obviously helping people out every single day. So just to see that and just like to understand the importance of helping those other people out is where I've always tried to look back and just try to help them whenever I can.
Awesome. Wiesy, this was awesome, brother. This was a great interview. Really appreciate you coming on, man. We're going to be rooting for you big time. I'm going to be watching the draft on Thursday and looking to see where you end up. And I hope you end up in a great situation. And I know you're going to take full advantage of that, brother. But we'll be rooting for you this year big time, man.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate you guys having me, and better see a tweet with that Wiesy name on there.
Oh, you already know, brother. Wiesy out of here. Wiesy out of here.
Exactly.
All right, brother. Thanks, man. We really appreciate you. Good luck this season, brother. We'll talk to you soon, hopefully, man. Later in the season, once you get picked up, we'd love to have you on again.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. I appreciate you guys having me. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks brother. So we appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Take care.
Yeah,
peace. Hey, Tony, let's take a quick second to tell everybody about one of our favorite sponsors.
Yeah, Chad, 1740 Beard Balm. I'm holding their signature product right here, but they've got a bunch of other products as well, okay? They've got beard soap. They've got chapstick. This is their signature product. This is just one of the labels. Chad, can you hold up? Let's see what we got here. Oh, look at these. Look at these bad boys. These are sexy. Yeah. As Chad and I talk about often, if you got a big beard, it's actually a hygiene issue. You don't want that thing stinking and smelling. So head on over to 1740 Beard Balm. Check them out. And we've got a really cool arrangement with them where if you're willing to send us a text, a screenshot. It can be on Twitter. It can be on Facebook. It can be on Instagram at DNP-CD Sports. As long as it's funny, doesn't have to be sports related, we'll read it on the air, and the folks over at 1740 Beard Balm will send you some free product and a $25 gift card.
Yeah, so make sure you check them out at 1740beardbalm.com. All right, that was Joe Wieskamp from Iowa. He's going to be drafted tomorrow night. Super exciting, man. Can't wait to see where he ends up. What a great interview. Seems like a super laid-back dude. You can tell he's about business. He's working his tail off to make sure that he's in the best shape that he can possibly be in. Working on the facets of his game that aren't his strengths right now, which is really exciting, man. It's going to be cool to see where he ends up and how he helps out a team, because his game is suited for the NBA perfectly right now. He is the type of guy that teams are going to be salivating over, especially if they can get him in that late first round, early to mid-second. That's going to be a great pickup for a team, brother.
Yeah, I mean, if you're him, you're coming out really at the right time because the NBA has changed so much over the years, and I think he's going to be a lot more desirable than he might have been if he had come out, of the draft 10 years ago. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Dude's got a lot of heart. Dude's got a lot of character. A lot of times we talk about draft stock in a lot of different sports of players whose draft stock will fall because of character concerns.
Yeah.
Because, maybe they have an arrest history or something like that. This dude is the exact opposite of that. I mean, visiting children's hospitals, like you brought up, man, doing all this charity stuff. I mean, what an awesome guy. And it's hard not to root for him to have success. Really cool dude.
Yeah, he is, man. I loved how when he made the player comparison to Duncan Robinson, a guy that played at Michigan that has made a ton of money. It's going to make a ton of money in the NBA. His skill set translates perfectly. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. It was cool to hear him say that he kind of compares himself to him and thinks he has a similar game and stuff. So
yeah, and then growing up, it was Klay Thompson. How do you feel about that comparison?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great, man. He's not a guy that puts the ball on the floor a whole lot. Klay had that historic game where he dropped 50 plus points and only took like 9 or 11 dribbles or something like that. I think Joe's a similar type of player. I was watching the Michigan-Iowa game a couple nights ago. It was on the Big Ten. It was on ESPN. They're showing a replay of the game, and I knew we were going to interview him, so I was watching him specifically. And the guy is athletic as hell, man. That's a common misconception about his game is the guy can get up. He had a 42-inch vertical. You know what I mean? That's nothing to sneeze about. So the guy can throw it down. I think that. Once he gets around some player development guys and everything like that, they teach him a little bit more how to put the ball on the floor, use that, set up his shot to be able to get into the mid-range a little bit, get to the hole. I think that his game is going to translate perfectly to the NBA, man. I think he's going to be a steal for a team. And I can see the Klay Thompson comparison, definitely.
What did he call himself? A white shooter? Is that what he called himself, right? Do you think that his race actually makes people think that he's less athletic than he is? It's
definitely.
It's not often that the white guy can cry, hey, there's people are looking at me differently, and he certainly wasn't, but we can make that case for him. You think that has something to do with it?
Oh, absolutely, man. No one's going to compare a white dude to like Vince Carter or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always going to be some other white player. They're like, oh, he looks like Mark Price out there. Look at him just shooting the lights out. Oh, my God. No one's going to compare a white dude to a black player. You know what I mean? It's always like, oh, he's a shooter. But MGO Blog, we have Brian Cook on here. He has a line that is hilarious, but he used this to describe like Nick Stauskas back in the day. And he said, not just a shooter. And because the dude could do other things. And I think Joe falls into that category. He's not just a shooter. He had a 42-inch vertical, 10.7 in the drills. He's athletic as hell, but he's getting pigeonholed. And not only that, I think that with Iowa, they didn't maybe really need him to do that too much. They had Luka Garza down low, who was an animal, All-American, two-time All-American down low. So, they needed him to shoot a little bit, rebound a little bit, and he showed he could do that. He's a big two-guard, man. He's 6'6", 6'7", and shoot the lights out. He's a big two-guard, man, that a lot of teams would love to have.
Yeah, man. All right, let's take out your crystal ball, Chad. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab the crystal ball. I'm gonna put it right here.
Yeah.
Where is he gonna get drafted? Do you think? What team and what number slot? Do you think?
That's a good question, man. So I can see him in the. I've heard a lot of talk, maybe even late first round. I've seen him anywhere from 36th to 52nd in mock drafts. I wouldn't be surprised. Like we were talking off air before the show. I wouldn't be surprised if a team falls in love with them and knows that they need shooting. There's a lot of teams out there that need shooting. Mm-hmm. Cavs, my Cavs being one of them. We finished 29th in shooting last year.
How about the Lakers?
Yeah, the Lakers could definitely use a guy like that. I could see him fitting in a system like the Spurs. I think he'd be perfect there with Coach Popovich. I could see Portland, Charlotte, these types of teams. Memphis, I think would be a good spot for him as well. But almost every team in the NBA needs shooting right now. You know what I mean? There's no team that says, oh, we got enough shooters. We don't need any more. Every team needs them. So he's not like going to be pigeonholed as like, oh, he's just a big guy. He's a 7-footer that, plays with his back to the basket, can get you 10 rebounds. No, this guy is very athletic, very versatile. And so he's going to fit on any team that picks him, man. I hope and pray the Cavs pick him up because we need some three-point shooting big time. And I think he'll be perfect. We need a small guy, a big two-guard coming off the bench. We need that guy. He would be perfect in that role. But a lot of teams are going to be looking at him, man. The Cavs are not going to be the only ones. I would not be surprised of a number of teams picked him. But I hope he's, late first round. If not, I don't see him lasting past like pick 50. And I think that would be egregious if he falls that far, even because his skill set is not something that just grows on trees. You're not just going to go out and find a guy that shot 46% from 3-point last year.
Yeah,
that's absurd, Yeah. And so
in the Big Ten,
a very physical conference, you know what I mean? To be able to do that and sustain that throughout an entire season is remarkable. So as a Michigan fan, I'm happy he went to the draft. I was happy when he kept his name in there. And another guy that I could see him, Isaiah Livers, a lot of people are saying that out of Michigan, who Joe mentioned in the interview, he's more of like a 3, stretch 4 maybe, on a small 4 guy. But I think they have similar games, very good catch-and-shoot guys. They're not guys that are going to put the ball on the deck, but they can stand on the corner, be a great 3-and-D guy, you know what I mean? I think that he has the athleticism to be able to be a good defender at the NBA level. We talked about his athleticism and everything like that. I feel like he just, a lot of times in the NBA, they're going to make you focus on things that you haven't focused on yet on your game and stuff. And so I think the sky's the limit for this kid, man. This guy could be in the league 10, 15 years. Everybody needs shooters, and shooters stick around for a very, very long time in the NBA.
Yeah, man. And we told him before we let him go, we hope that he ends up in a good situation. I want to ask you, Chad, what makes a good situation in the NBA? Is it the head coach? Is it opportunity? And follow-up question to that, you rattled off a bunch of teams who could need him. Which of those teams do you think presents the most fertile team for him to grow and thrive in?
Well, I'm a huge Greg Popovich fan. You know what I'm saying? I think he's one of the best coaches, if not the best coach of my generation. I love the guy. I love how he hates interviews and shit. You know what I'm saying? The guy's hilarious, man. He's hysterical. And he has the same reaction I do to a lot of the dumbass questions that these reporters ask and stuff like that. So I think, of course, the Spurs will be an amazing situation for any player. Greg Popovich is an amazing, great coach. I think that would be a great fit for him. And I think he would have a clear path to a lot of playing time there. The Spurs need talent all across the board. They were at the 10th spot, I believe, or 9th spot last year, and that was mostly just because of coaching. Because Popovich is going to outcoach over half the league easily. You know what I mean? With lesser talent, I think that would be a great situation. So I think you want to look for number one, the coach. And there's some stability there as well. You want to make sure that you got some veterans around him, some guys that are shooters that can teach him a little bit, that can help him grow his game in other areas as well. And you want it to be a sustainable situation. You don't want a guy that's, on the hot seat coaching, you know what I mean? But at the same time, man, his skill set translates very well to the NBA game. I think that no matter where he ends up, he's a hard worker, he's dedicated, he's motivated. He wants to be in the league. He wants to be in the league for a long time. And so wherever he goes, whatever team picks him up is going to be extremely lucky, I think.
For sure, man. And a great personality, too. Yeah, I love at the end of the interview, he throws out the Wiesy nickname. Yeah. I also loved him giving George Kittle 5 points in the game of 21.
At least he's honest.
And honest enough to admit that his girlfriend has beaten him in a minor little game in the backyard as well. So, yeah, great dude.
That's hilarious, man. That's awesome. And he says he's going to be getting some Mexican food for the game. If he's in Iowa, I don't know where the hell he's getting Mexican food, but I'm sure. I think he said he's in Chicago with Priority Sports. Shout out to Priority Sports as well for helping us land this interview. Awesome organization, some of the top names in sports, and they just keep going, man. So the roster that they got this year is very, very impressive. They got Corey Kispert, Isaiah Livers. He talked about him in the interview as well.
Yep.
Awesome organization there. We really want to say thank you to them for allowing us to do this interview with Joe. He was awesome. So I'm excited, man. I'm super excited. The draft, as a Cavs fan, is one of my favorite times of year, one of my favorite days of year. I will be at the crib. I'm going to get a huge spread of food. I'm going to be sitting there getting fat as all hell, just eating like a fat kid whose parents went away for the weekend and stuff. I got some zebra cakes. I ain't messing around.
Are you talking about the Little Debbie?
Hell yeah, dude. I don't mess around. And what's so funny is I was sitting there kind of joking with Joe, talking about, you're going to get some macaroni salad and some hot dogs, some white people stuff. I got some macaroni salad at the crib that I'm going to be eating on draft night. So
with the zebra
who's
cakes.
the whitest guy in the room now? You know what I'm saying? So with some zebra cakes. Yeah, I only eat white food. That's all I eat is just zebra cakes.
Makes sense.
Yeah, mayonnaise sandwiches, white bread. Zebra cakes and macaroni salad. That's all I eat, man. But no, man, this is a great interview with Joe. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. It's at Wieskamp21, Instagram at Wiesy10, and hit him up on Cameo too, man. Cameo.com/Joe Wieskamp. Super cool dude. Follow him on Instagram. He's got some awesome pictures there with his fiance and everything like that. And I'm like I said, I'm expecting an invite to the wedding. I don't see how I don't get one after this interview. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Hey, and follow us on social media as well at DNP-CD Sports. Don't forget to send us those funny screenshots of text, whether they're sports related or not. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check us out.
On all those platforms, we're at DNP-CD Sports. Also, check out hawkeyes.com. You can find all of our past episodes along with a bunch of other awesome podcasts that the Hawkeye Media Network produces. They are fantastic. They take care of us really well. And they've got so many awesome other awesome shows that you should check out, man. Anything you can think of pretty much. So
for sure. And if you happen to be listening on YouTube and watching us there, please do give us a thumbs up. Please consider writing us a review on iTunes. We're growing, man. This is going to be our 16th episode.
Yeah.
And so we're growing quickly. We're getting better guests, as you guys can see. And so all your support really goes a long way, and we appreciate it.
Brother, we were talking about this last night. In only 16 episodes, man, we've already had some amazing guests. You know what I'm saying? Austin Eckler, Muhammad Sanu. We got Zach Banner coming out next week, which was an amazing interview.
Joe is another one.
Joe
to add to the
Wieskamp.
list.
We got Jesse Sapolu. We got
Randy
Benjamin
Cross.
Albright, Randy Cross.
Yep.
We've had a great guest list in only 16 episodes, and it's just going to keep getting better, man, because we're working our asses off to make sure we get some even better guests coming up. So.
For sure. You know, we peaked on the charts at 34th for the sports news category
pretty good.
on the iTunes charts. Pretty darn good.
Dude, we were in Denmark this week. We were like top 10 in Denmark.
No kidding. I saw Great Britain. We just cracked the charts in Great Britain recently
Look
too.
at us.
So
good eye, Mike.
So, you know, we don't want to spend too much time bragging on us, but the bottom line is the show is growing really quickly.
And we appreciate
it's frankly gone a lot better than Chad and I thought it would. We're really happy about that, but we do need your continued support. Follow us on social media. Keep listening, subscribe, tell your friends about the show. We'd appreciate it.
Please follow us. I'm trying to buy my kid a bike. Please help us. Yeah, and definitely before we go, we want to tell everybody about Oddsshark. Oddsshark is your source for the latest odds from leading authorities, expert editorial content, and detailed matchup picks. Looking for statistics and trends for an upcoming game? Oddsshark has that too, and it's free. In-depth expert analysis, stats, numbers, and trends to help you make the sharp game day picks. Whether you want to check out tonight's football odds, this week's hockey or basketball trends, or anything in between, head on over to Oddsshark and start thinking like a shark today. You like how I mixed that up a little bit?
That was nice, man.
I'm trying to get the people what they want.
Keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, trying to mix it up a little bit. So, yeah, make sure you go to Oddsshark, ODDSSHARK.com. They take care of us here at the show. You got to check them out before you make any bets.
Again, this was a great episode.
Super excited about the draft. Let us know how you're watching the draft, who you're rooting for, who you hope your team picks. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know. We got another great episode next week with Zach Banner, which I'm super excited about. Such an awesome, funny interview. That dude is cool as hell, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. You guys are going to really appreciate that one. Oh, before we forget, Chad, I also want to suggest our newsletter to folks.
Oh, yeah.
It's a growing newsletter. You can go to hotpiemedia.com and check out the DNP-CD newsletter. We've got a whole bunch of great info in there for you that I know you're going to appreciate.
Definitely. So we appreciate you guys listening. Thanks for watching. Please tell your friends about the show. We'll see you guys next week. For Tony, I am Chad. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. You can find more episodes and all other Hot Pie Media originals baked fresh daily at our home on the web at hotpiemedia.com, the Hot Pie Media YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to podcasts.